Hey everybody, welcome to the lecture. Hi. Okay, so we're going to talk about hyperlinks. Okay, and so we'll go through a little bit of what we've talked about already, what we've gone through already, and pretty much let's get straight into it. Okay, so let's start with this. So we're going to review what we talked about or what we've done so far in the class, and then we're going to talk about hyperlinks and this little A tag and what that represents. Okay, so the story so far. We've really, at this point, just done a single web page that kind of is a little lonely and really has no other pages to play with. Except the HTML validator, which is what I force you to put in the bottom of each of those pages so that you get in the habit of making sure that your pages validate and that they're correct in terms of the HTML spec as such. Now, we won't get into what a spec is right now. Let's keep going. We've used a few tags. These were all of the tags that were in the default template that I provided you. And the first one up there is the doc type. We have the HTML tag, head tag, meta, which we will get into later, title, body, H1 and H2, which are kind of header tags. These are the first ones that are actually visible on the screen. And then the P tag. So each of these has kind of gotten us to the area where we're currently enjoying, right? We're looking, we have a page that we can see. So now we've got a simple page. It's got a few headers, a couple paragraphs. It's a good start, but that can't be all there is, because with if that was, there'd be no World Wide Web, because part of what makes the World Wide Web work is links. So what is it about this A tag? Okay, so that's what we're really going to focus on this next few days. Realistically, it's the one tag that makes the web what it is. I mean, if you really want to think about it in terms of what's actually enabled HTML and the web to exist, is the fact that you can click on something and go from one page to another. It really isn't that you can type in an address and go to a page. I mean, that is part of it, but I mean, really what makes it connected is this sense of links, the sense that you can click on something with your mouse or with your finger and open some other page up, some other experience up online. Interesting enough, the A tag has been around since the very beginning of HTML. It was really kind of it was part of the original spec, because that's it's kind of core to the functionality of what hypertext markup language is all about. It was originally called an anchor tag, which is why it uses the letter A, much like a P tag is a paragraph. So A tag is an anchor tag, but we'll get back to why that is. And it's really the best function of it is to connect or link two pages together. So let's talk about a few types of common links that we might talk about. So one is the notion of what's absolute links. Now, what is an absolute link? It is it connects one page to another anywhere, and it's reachable anywhere on the web. That would be where you see the part that I'm highlighting here, which is the web address http://www.santarosa.edu, is a complete address. It's something that you can absolutely see on its own and can exist. It basically is an absolute address to a website on the internet. Another type of link that we run into very, very commonly, especially when you start building a page or building a website, is you're going to have relative links or local links. And these connect one page to another, only they're on the same website. Okay? So the difference is subtle, but and part of it is that if you've ever looked at how files are identified on your computer, usually it's like by a folder divider, like a slash or a backslash. If it's if you're going to a parent folder, use two dots and that sort of thing. So the area that I've highlighted on the screen is / index.html. So that would be one level up on a particular website in terms of the folders. The next type are these bookmark or jump links. Now these are actually what the anchor function referred to originally. It connects one part of a single web page to another part, sometimes of the same page and sometimes of another page. In fact, you can use this notion of the way that it ends up looking is, if you look on the screen, you see a highlight. It's this hash top or hash. This idea of this hashtag, or this is what it looks like a hashtag, ends up being kind of a bookmark into a page. Okay, so this is generally speaking not you put this on on something like a header or some section or some other piece of content inside of your web page. You'd give it this ID where it says top, and then you could reference that with this, and what would happen is that the browser will automatically load that page and then go to and bring the part of wherever this header would be brought to the top of the screen, so it would show up here in a browser window. Okay. Another type of common link is email. So there are the idea that you can put an email address, and you use this little preface. This is called a schema, called mail to, that will tell this link, if you click on this, this is an email address. All right. So it gives a little bit of meaning to what you're connecting to. So, in fact, what I want to also now, what we're going to take a moment with, is that throughout all of this, you've got this little thing, this href equals, and what is with this href business? All right, and it really talks to kind of a basic property of HTML, and that is tag attributes. So each tag in HTML may have anywhere from 0 to many different attributes that are that you can and sometimes must use. So HTML tags don't always just start and finish with these angle brackets. Some tags need to know more to be able to do what they need to do. And there's a specific way to provide the tags that information, and that information is called an attribute. So attributes look a little something like this. You have the tag name, your opening tag, your closing tag with the slash in front of it. And then you have a name with an equal sign, and then a value. Okay, and the value is usually in double quotes or single quotes. And we'll talk a little bit about that, or I'll remind you a little bit about that. Okay, so attributes themselves are pretty straightforward, and you've seen them already in your template websites. Like the meta tag has a value, has an attribute in it, and the web link for the HTML validator has an attribute in it for the href. So names of the attributes, names and values. The names of attributes are usually related to the tag name, and though sometimes there are some attributes that are universal, and you can actually be used on any tag, theoretically, inside of an HTML document. And we'll talk about those another time. The values of the attributes are what actually tells the tag, here's, and then the quote is like, here's how I need you to behave, and or look or render, or basically in telling that little tag, here's the information you need to be able to do your job. So when it comes to hyperlinks, the name of the key attribute is href, in this case for a link, which generally is understood to be a contraction of the word hypertext reference, but there's no real there's no dictionary you go to that absolutely says this is absolutely the right answer. And the value of the attribute is the URL. Okay, so the URL is the universal resource locator, and that is the http://www yada yada yada. So it's really important, and this is where I get to stress this again. It's really important that you want to have the value of an attribute inside of double quotes or single quotes, and be consistent about it. There was a time when you didn't have to do that in HTML, and that time is gone. So for you guys, since you're learning, we're teaching you the right way right off the top. So that's it for this week. It's a short talk, okay? Didn't have to go into too much detail. The next thing for you guys to do is go take a look at the assignment and ask questions. There's a Q&A that you can check out on the Canvas Classroom, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the chat. Okay? Cheers.